All right, everyone, we are into the match. We can see that Cutie Pie has found himself a little bit of chaos in mid here. As we get everything set up, looks like Team SoloMid is going to make their way towards the top side of the jungle.
Yeah, and specifically because TSM has Reginald on that Twisted Fate, they get to bully and decide where they want to go. Having a reliable stun wherever they walk in is letting them take a bit of presence and get the wards where they want it.
All right, everyone, you're definitely going to be cheering for your crowd here, but at home, you can get yourself on Twitter, #TSM, that hashtag TSM, #dig, D-I-G. You vote for them, and it will update live on the screen. We'll be able to see who you're voting for and how long you're going to be voting for him. So here we go, starting off this matchup. Dignitas fans in the crowd, let me hear you!
And then we also got the TSM fans. Everyone says, at least Reginald, how they get support coming out to these events. Let's hear the TSM fans here. That was a good toss, right, Riv? Pretty good.
The crowd loved it. Everybody did. The viewers at home are ready. The HD passes still being purchased as everybody wants to get that great viewing experience in with their 1080p free VODs. Don't forget, after the matches, MLD.TV, you're going to have 30 minutes, and then the replays of every match will be up for VOD as we get this one started. Team SoloMid onto the rift with Dignitas, and it looks like the early jungle actually puts Reginald and Skara right next to each other right away.
And there's so much action going up near the top lane. Turtle and X Special want to run into Cutie Pie.
Oh, the face check in the bus, Cutie Pie, you gotta run! Oh, pull your hair up, put it in the ponytail, you can make it out of this one. Oh, Patoy is there, still helping him, but they are gonna lose CS in this lane like, whoa.
And I gotta say, so much of that was because of TSM's early wards into Dignitas' jungle, knowing what threat was there. Cutie Pie just wanted to go to lane. He didn't want to miss creeps, but TSM was ready to punish him there. That is going to set him so far behind against this Draven Lulu lane, because Janet Ashe is not something that can take a pounding very well.
And X Special doesn't mind to miss these creeps right now either. Perfectly fine at that point. You can see already on this, 73% right now heading to Twitter, and it's just changing constantly. Those stats are updated. #TSM, #dig. Keep your votes coming in. The game is only just underway, and we have a huge weekend here at MLG Anaheim.
And Skara versus Reginald in this mid lane is going to be so ridiculously interesting. I don't know how much pressure he can actually put on Reginald's Twisted Fate, because TF is generally not the strongest early laner, and one of the most annoying things against the Yi is how freely he can harass you, so Reginald will have to heal frequently in that lane.
You're going to see Reginald losing those patches of hair before this game is over. Still a ton of pressure towards the top. Reginald just trying to sustain with blue cards in lane and keep that CS at the turret. Scar's going to be able to roam soon if he keeps doing this.
And already the Odd One wants to stop Scar because he knows Scar is pushing up really far onto Reginald. And there's the stun.
They get the gold card. It's going to be down. Oh, he has to flash that one out. That means the Odd One is going to be back soon.
And that is how Reginald plays. It's like Odd One is always waiting in the wings. It specifically works against Scar. Scar always has trouble against that TSM mid lane combo. Burning the flash that early is not going to help TSM's chance, or Dignitas' chances in that mid lane.
And Skara, we know Skara for wanting every CS that he can get, puts himself on a melee champion. After Alpha Strike, he is up the creek without a paddle, so he's got to be very careful in that situation. Crumbs looking to make some moves here.
And likewise, this is Turtle and X Special being pushed way up. Looks like Turtle got knocked up a bit.
Very early exhaust coming out, is going to keep it in range. Turtle, the flash is down. He's got the barrier to fight. He could go down in here. First blood coming in, and maybe it's going to be Diggs, and it is going to be going to Crumbs. Can they finish on X Special? He looks to make it away safely.
Really smart punish there by Crumbs. They recognized that TSM was overpushed, and also that they wouldn't necessarily be expecting that. Odd One tries to answer in the bot lane, does get the flash.
Odd One has just blown 2 flashes in about 2 minutes. He has 5 minutes in both lanes to spend going back and forth now.
If we had to compare though, I would say Crumbs' gank was much more successful, because not only did he burn the flash, he got the kill up there, and it helped out the lane even more. It's so dangerous, Riv, to gank a losing lane, and Crumbs managed to pull it off without any repercussions.
Well, they tried for the bottom. We know that ganking that losing lane is even harder when there's a rumble, so it looks like they've kept it off of there, and they're trying to stave off that extra power that Wild Turtle got in the early part of that farming.
And what a crazy lane swap here. Reginald going mid. I could have sworn he was a top laner.
I wouldn't have expected it right here. It didn't seem like it was going to happen, but they've swapped it back.
The repeat
again! The flash is down. He may not be able to get out of this one. He meditates for a quick second. Goes for the fight. Oh my gosh, no way! Odd One gets the execute Q. Can he finish it off? Crumb's playing amazing right now. Flash is in. He's got nowhere to repel. He's got nowhere to go. Final attack. Crumb's coming up with another kill.
2 early kills for Nocturne after a ridiculous turnaround from Skara. Nobody, including Reginald, expected him to go back into that one. I think he had a double strike charged after the Alpha, so he just spiked Reginald clean out, and that's really important now how Crumbs transitions this, because not only did he get the 2 kills, he got the experience from that mid lane. So Crumbs is going to be hitting level 6 very soon, maybe even after that raid camp, and those paranoia ganks are going to be huge in shutting down Reginald's Twisted Fate roam.
He hasn't even gone back yet. It actually looks like he tried to invade before going back, knowing that he's just had such an upper hand. Going back now to get his first buy, we can see that Reginald rather, has gone himself 2 Dorans. He just wants to be able to stay in lane alive versus Scar right now.
And specifically, I think he wants to have enough mana to keep the lane shoved out and not miss too much CS at his turret. I also want to point out the Kindle gem that got picked up by Crumbs, which tells us he's going more towards the big fat LP Nocturne build, where you rush the Golem Spirit Stone item and just go full tank Nocturne, which might not be what Dignitas needs, because they need a lot of damage if they want Scar to be able to come in at the end of fights and get those Master Yi resets.
He's got to be able to soften him up for a Yi. He's really just that Alpha Strike and needs the reset. You are absolutely right. So with 400 gold now up in the favor of Dignitas, we'll have to see if Crumbs can just get himself around to shut down the factor of needing damage.
And it looks like Crumbs' lane to help is this I'm a Cutie Pie lane.
Right.
Wild Turtle has been pushed up so much on I'm a Cutie Pie. There is a Nocturne ult up, and they know that Wild Turtle's flash is still down from the previous gank, so they might look to turn something here.
They are warding accordingly. Team SoloMid putting those, not deep wards down, but the tri-bush at least to make sure it's not a long engage by Crumbs. But you're right, he's doing everything from the lane. A great Howling Gale going up. Wild Turtle, no flash from last engage, no barrier either. They stop up the damage. Can Cutie Pie get the last hit? Here comes TF. It's going to be Reginald in the fight. Turns it back onto Crumbs. Can they turn this one around? 3v2. Scar looks to make an impact on the fight. There it is. Softens him up. Puts him down. Sword between the legs. Scar continues to go in. One more attack there. No, he gets polymorphed in. Gets the kill. Goes down. So many bounties going back and forth.
4v4 in the top lane gives a 3-for-2 in the favor of Dignitas. That was a crazy fight, and it's still happening down in the bottom lane. I think they're going to calm down a bit, though.
And that worked out huge. Especially got the shutdown in the end. I'm sure that's exactly what they wanted.
I think exactly what they wanted would have been Wild Turtle getting some kills, because in all of this, I'm a Cutie Pie didn't die.
Well, no, Dignitas.
Scar got the 3 kills. Oh, exactly what Dignitas wanted.
Yeah.
Exactly. Giving the shutdown gold to X Special is generally going to turn into maybe a faster Sightstone, which will give them some ward control, but it's not their worst fear. If Reginald or Wild Turtle got going, that's what's going to shut down Dignitas' team composition right now, and that didn't really happen in that last fight.
Oh, getting dove. The equalizer goes out. Kiwi, Kiwi, where's the ultimate, baby? Oh my God, oh, the caster minion's too strong.
That was a very aggressive and somewhat questionable dive from Dyrus right there. The lane was close and even up until that point, and trading kills like that when you already had an edge in a lane doesn't give you an advantage as Dyrus right there. He denied a few minions on top of the turret there for Kiwi Kid, but they're going to probably run right back to that lane and continue brawling.
It's like they were just going punch for punch. You fall on each other, the ref needs to break them up, they're going to come back and just go punch for punch again. They both needed a bit of a break. 7-4 though. Dignitas doing the same thing, coming out strong. They continue to do this. They have to grab the turrets to allow them to start that 3+3 split push. But we still have time to get to that. The laning phase is just huge for them right now.
And we could tell, based on a lot of the picks in this game, specifically from TSM, that they were going to want to play this game really fast. Just the Draven lane in general, the Nocturne pick from Crumbs, knowing that if Nocturne doesn't make an early impact on the game, unless you have a very specific team composition with very, very strong late game engage, you have to make your action happen early. So both of these teams are trying to make a lot happen, and that's why we've seen 11 kills now in the first 9 minutes.
They do have a forward ward on the odd one, so they're going to be safe. Reggie coming down, Crumbs doing everything he can. He hasn't been seen in lane, but he's trying to deny the jungle now. He's being very mobile and very aggressive towards TSM.
And surprisingly in one of these games, since the lanes were not offset, it was a 2v2 in top and then 1v1s in mid and bottom, the turrets haven't been taking huge amounts of damage. We have somewhat of an extended laning phase, which means these kills are going to continue to generate each other, and it actually gives Crumbs more time to use those paranoia ganks in lane, and Reginald more time to get more and more Twisted Fate ults off now that he has that blue buff.
Very slow play from the junglers here as everybody starts to get a little bit of gold in their pocket. The wards are definitely plentiful for both teams, which is slowing down the junglers. So it's really up to the lanes to make things start to happen now. A little bit of movement possibly. We have the 6, 7s, and 8s on the board now, and it's still been a laning phase.
It's just going to continue until the ganks keep happening.
Reginald, oh, it's going to be a turret there, the odd one right behind Reginald. Who would have guessed?
There's the counter ganks coming in from the Odd One. He's reading Crumbs better and better now. The last gank that was a 3-for-2 for Dignitas, the Odd One was pretty much there. That one, he was right there. Not even having to burn the ult.
Kisser! Oh, Special goes for the wild growth. And they turn that one around. That was a very nice play there. Reginald looking to pop that, but he's towards the bottom lane. They're going to be going down onto Kiwi Kid, and they may not be able to get him the gold card. He's held strong.
Whole bunch of aggression happened there. Everybody's still okay. Let's calm down right now. Reginald's gank gives Scar a bit of time to push up in the top lane. Ultimate's burned up there, and since Scar knows the ultimate's down, he's going to try to roam up there, but Dyrus has to flash out a Kiwi Kid.
Very aggressive play. That's great, though, because Kiwi Kid just had to blow his flash, so that's a great trade for his lane to have it down as well.
Scar might just go for X Special. There's no wild growth. Boom.
Yeah, that's what's playing against Yi. I'm sure Special just lost a tuft of hair there, and he is getting locked up for meditate.
The longer he waits here, though, the better TSM will be at collapsing, and that's why Scar's got to get out of there through the minions.
Whoa, Dignitas doing a little TSM-esque. It was TSM the ones we saw kind of walking around you at your turret, doing whatever they wanted, and they're kind of being put in the back burner here as Dignitas, again, taking control. 8-4, only 1,000 gold up, though. That gap is only getting 100 gold more and more, slowly.
Yeah, it's crazy. 12 minutes in, no dragons, no turrets, and a lot of fights as Reginald's getting dove.
Oh my gosh, so much damage on the front end, but it's the burst damage. You have to have the follow-up, and it wasn't there.
We talked about the counter ganks. The Odd One is reading Crumbs and exactly his intentions in all of these fights. Brilliant show up there. Scar 4 kills, but 3 deaths. So while Scar is generating a lot of gold for himself, he's giving a lot of it back to TSM, and I don't think that's what Dignitas wants right now.
So checking back in this bottom lane. We got 11 seconds back on Scara, so Dignitas not looking to make any moves here. We have Crumbs soaking up experience in the middle, looking to push that lane out for Scara. You can see Kiwi Kid just not feeling safe in this lane, using Lightning Rush at inopportune times. And
I gotta say, these are the closest lanes across the board I've almost seen in the entire season from LCS. You look, if we move and think Reginald's actually in the mid lane, it's 88-94. The top line is 82-85, and the AD carries are 96-90. Even the junglers are both in the 50s. Everyone's within 5 to 10 minion kills of each other, and that's why the game is so close right now.
Pink Ward's also coming out for Crumbs. He knows his ganks rely on that quasi-global ultimate, that paranoia coming in, so he is trying to get himself vision. Cutie Pie back onto Xpecial. These flashes are down. He doesn't have much mana, though, and he won't be able to keep him in because of the volley. Too much cost.
Yeah, I'm a Cutie Pie would have loved to arrow there, but it was completely down because he used so much on the harass. Meanwhile, Kiwi Kid is trying to make a play because they had Nocturne ganks, but look who's there, Odd One.
Right onto the turret. Dyrus throws the equalizer down, perfectly placed, but he goes. Odd One is in the right spot.
Nice move.
Repel over to Crumbs. Here comes TF. Beautiful by Reginald. He knew the ult was down, but Scar on the backside as well. Oh my gosh, they put him on the ropes. Reginald goes down. Scar picking himself up another kill. 5-3-1 on Yi mid.
This is just a heavyweight battle because you have Odd One smelling Crumbs is there. Scar knowing Reginald's going to go to counter, and they're just one after the other running into each other, and it's in the right timing that they've already engaged for the fight by the time they realize it's too late. Such back and forth action here. Scar picked up his 5th kill only 14 minutes in.
14 minutes in, Jat, and 16 kills. More than a kill a minute throughout this game, and 500 gold closed on the gap there for Team SoloMid. Anybody's game, and this is a Wild Turtle catches the feathers on the last end of that one. It looks like the exhaust again goes down early to try and stop the fight. They put him right inside. That's some good damage though from him. If he has to stand aside, he may be able to walk, but there's no help coming by. No, he might be able to go. Oh my gosh, Cutie Pie sidestepping in his blue suede shoes.
That's the danger of fighting a Draven sometimes. It's not the easiest thing as an
a lot
Ashe.
Longer.
Ashe's damage is mostly poke related, and then from the arrow, the auto attack damage at this point in the game is not very high for them, but because Xpecial wasn't there, he's down at the dragon.
Oh, Kiwi Kid looking for the dragon, but he's not going to find it. They slice and dice him up. Looks like they get a free dragon too.
We might see our trade here, but there's more than just the dragon going on here. Scara is trying to steal the blue while Dignitas pushes the top lane, and I believe this is just a trading of resources.
Yeah, Reginald's doing what he can, pushing that mid lane to have the turret soak up the experience, deny what he can, as he knows his team is getting dragon to lose his blue.
So I gotta say, I'm a Cutie Pie 1-0-4 to an 0-3-1 Wild Turtle, but he's only 600 gold up because the Twisted Fate passive has given Wild Turtle an extra 200 gold.
Right.
And obviously the dragon came in as well. So trading a lot of stuff, and if we're looking at the later game team fight phase of this, I feel like TSM's gonna have a bit of an edge because I don't see Dignitas having enough upfront damage to adequately allow Scar to come in at the right moments in fights and end them. We'll just have to wait until they play out.
It was scary, right? The tower dive last time onto Reginald. Skara alpha striked and it was like, whoa, that burst of damage. And like you said, they kind of have to sit there. They don't have that follow-up just yet. It's either that all or nothing for these guys, and they got to find where that after part comes in quite soon. 16 minutes now. TSM has even the gold completely. It only took them a little bit. They were always inching closer. It took that dragon. Looks like they're all going to focus on mid now, Jad, as we finally break the laning phase of this one. Oh, they're all coming in. Right on the cutie pie. Wild Growth goes out as well. This may not be as good as they thought.
Look out! Crumbs goes in, and I don't think he has backup.
Reggie getting a little bit more damage, tries to pull out the card, stand aside, but it's Skara with the alpha strike. That means the resets are going to be coming in. The slow goes down, Repel goes up, but he's going right back down onto the team. There it is, do they have the tether? They're double kill for Skara. No, not triple kill, that's a kill for Dyrus. Yes, the triple kill, however, in the end onto Draven.
Another 3 for 2. This is a bloodbath right now, Riv. Skara came in at just the right moment, got the resets on his Highlander, and he just completed his Rabadon's death cap. Speaking of that all or nothing style, has picked up the double buffs as well. So if TSM doesn't slow him down soon, just because of the rate with which Skara is acquiring golden items, it won't matter if people can get things low for him. If he can get that Lich Bane before TSM can accumulate some magic resistance, he's going to start one-shotting people and getting the reset himself.
And you can see, Jad, just as we look, kind of slow things down, 17 minutes into this one, we see where the CS is, but we also see where the Twitter is, which has started to flow a little bit. Losing some points on TSM, Dig getting their voters in as well. We'll have to see how that continues. Right now, Dig's putting up a pretty heavy hitter fight, like you said. These guys are in each other's faces, no matter whether they can be it or not.
Having an 8-3 Yi is going to swing the vote a little bit, specifically when it's Skara playing. And Skara, when he gets going in these games, is known to just carry these things throughout the rest of them. So Dignitas is now going to try to set up Skara coming in with Ash Arrows and Nocturne ults and just hope Skara can come in at the end and finish them off. I'm a Cutie Pie still doesn't even have his first big item, Double Thorns and Berserker Greaves, because he knows he needs the mobility more than the damage right now. If this game gets super late, that Ash is going to be like the late game insurance for Dignitas, because a 4 or 5 item Ash is actually very potent, but until then, he's a utility bot.
Dyrus looking to squeeze out the last few minions in this bottom lane. Pings going down as Dignitas starting to get a bit more aggressive. They got vision wards going down in the opposing jungle now, so they can make sure they have all the vision for Crumbs to roam.
And they're trying to push the mid lane as well, because they recognize with their vision that TSM went back to base. 2 turrets to 0. TSM might get clamped a little bit here if they're not careful. If Reginald doesn't have the ability to move over to lanes to ult them, they're going to completely lose the pressure of having a Twisted Fate ultimate ready to go.
And we got to talk about how big this is, Jat. Going for the 3rd turret right away. They're saying, yeah, we have top mid down. Let's send everybody we can to drop the last outer turret.
And I think they're going to get it, because they're catching Wild Turtle off pushing the top lane while everyone is pushing down bottom. And TSM's not really counterattacking this yet. You can tell they're very scared of getting caught by either an Ash Arrow, a blind cannon ult, getting paranoid in the jungle, or just running into anyone on Dignitas. Even though the gold is close, the feeling of this game is that Dignitas is in complete control.
And that is fast. If you take all things into consideration, being at that turret is antsy. You think about Baron a lot, but they've activated everything so fast in this game, that's not even an option yet. So that was one of the easiest turrets they had to take.
Because we're still over a kill a minute in this game, if we look at both of them. So realizing that it was kind of the point in the game where Dignitas could start taking turrets, they just went in and did it. And even in the top lane here, Skara, so confident, Wild Turtle doesn't even want to harass him. He's got to be a little careful. If Skara gets 1 alpha strike, it's going to take like half his health.
And they have the siege clear. If Kennen stays mid, Skara stays top. You're not getting any of those turrets. We have Odd One pushing bottom, which means there's really going to be no utility help to really continue executing ganks to come in. TSM is a little on the back foot. They know they can still win this right now, but they're figuring out how to get as much CS as possible before this next engagement and get themselves bigger.
And Dignitas is trying to stop TSM from being able to farm safely.
Yeah.
Patoy just consumed an Oracle's Elixir as well, so he's going to be rolling around, trying to get control, maybe even of this barren area as quickly as possible. You can see Dignitas is setting up for more and more invades. Blue buffs, trying to kill Reginald, because they have no idea where they are.
Oh, he didn't get the fear tether off in time. Reginald puts himself. The Kiwi Kid may go down for it though. Kiwi Kid looks to stay alive. The Equalizer is doing some good damage. The arrow, 3 points coming through. Special is going to be able to make it out. No, it's a flash in from Cutie Pie on the side. Skara with another double kill.
Reginald tried to escape that into a fight and just escaped into getting 4 people killed. It could have been a 1-for-0, and it turned into a 4-for-0 because the distance Reginald covered when trying to go and kill Kiwi Kid was not large enough to stop the gank that caught Reginald from just getting to the actual fight. And then they stuck around, got low. Scarra got the resets. He's now a 10-kill Master Yi, and that Lich Bane's gonna get completed before there's Magic Resist ready to go on TSM.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Magic Resistance, rather, is one of those quite expensive things to build and doesn't really go with a lot of items you're going to see on the carries of the team unless you're the AP carrier or one of the tanks. So for these guys to have that Bulwark ready is huge.
And if Crumbs can get his Bulwark, we might see a very early push by Dignitas as well, because he's just items ahead of the odd one right now. 6,200 gold to 5,800. Junglers keeping pretty good pace with each other, but those 4 turrets are really what's giving Crumbs those extra bits of gold. But because of the Ninja Tabi being completed, Oddone actually got to the Bulwark before Crumbs did, so that could play a big part in the next fight.
Good Dragon going over to Dig. They're able to grab this. Last time they grabbed the blue. So Dragons are now 1-1, I believe. 1 in TSM, 1 for Dig. Yep. So we have 35,000 gold, however. This was even 5 minutes ago. Now 5,000 gold up.
And just thinking back to the first time these teams played, it was 16 kills to 2 for Dignitas, if we remember. So Dignitas,
16-2 and 32, yeah.
That's a lot of assists as well.
That's a lot of assists.
Dignitas is picking up a similar scoreline, even though they got in a bit more trouble early on. They have the same amount of aggression, and they're punishing TSM just as much. Crumbs' Nocturne ultimate is going to be back up in 5 seconds here, and he might just try to turn this gank on Kiwi Kid.
Going on to Kiwi. Kiwi throws down the ultimate. He's got a lot of lockdown. Crumbs is there. Can he get the Fear Tether up? Oh, great arrow, but it hits Xpecial.
Scarra is on the way.
Unfortunately, Scarra could be coming up. He will be able to stop them from the river, and they've got everybody all over this to clean up. PewDiePie grabs himself a kill. There's the Paranoia from the Nocturne, and they're going to be getting a second kill here. Looks like Scarra picks himself up another one and a double buff.
And Xpecial tried to bail out, but Crumbs was on the case.
Oh, I think I can. He tries to get Crumbs, finds him because there was a trail and a double kill. Another one for Scarra.
Yeah, this is turning into a very scary Master Yi. If TSM could somehow weather this storm, they would be able to deal with it, but it is getting out of control so quickly that I don't think TSM will be able to hold on to that point. Even with the Bulwark, there's so much pick potential. Every time TSM tries to make a play, the Ash Arrow comes in with a really fast G flying up the river, and they just turn it around. Dignitas needs one more of those, and they'd be able to get a Baron or maybe even more turrets.
All right, so Reggie now picking up that Zanya's Hourglass. He's going to be set with that for his engagements or possible disengages that he is trying to make. Patoy getting a nice pink ward, or not pink ward, just kind of clearing out. He's been doing this for a long while now. This Oracle most likely about to run out, but it's definitely paid dividends for them.
They've been able to get a lot of control, and that's one of the reasons they're running away with this game. That Zanya's Hourglass on Reginald as well could be so key in stopping Scarra's Alpha Strikes, because if he recognizes that he gets targeted by Scarra and he Zanya's before the Alpha Strike completes, Scarra will not make it to his target, and then that could slow down his resetting potential vastly. So now Scarra has to be careful about where he uses it, and Reginald has to be very astute about recognizing where Scarra's going.
Yeah, to look at it in that light, Dignitas is a team that cannot falter with their ultimates. So that team kind of falls apart. The engagement isn't there. They need everyone, and they need to be able to go in strong. So that Zanya's could prove quite useful. Actually looks like Dyrus will get one himself too, so they'll be able to utilize that quite well. They have some time though. We've been talking about that. It's still going to go pretty late for these guys. Dignitas is quite ahead by only losing top turret now.
And now with the Void Staff, Scarra is just all in on getting the kills. We have to remember that Scarra only has one spell unless they get kills. So it's all or nothing team fights here if Dignitas decides to go.
Crumbs with that Bulwark on, so, oh wait, TF ulti coming in. It looks like he will be on to Scarra. They lock him down. Is that Zanya's going to come out?
Scarra went in early.
Back and forth. Scarra going on the meditate. He's going to get so much HP back from that. A good shield from Patoy. Make sure all the HP gets on. Again, the exhaust. The wild growth on the turtle. There may be too much damage though. It's now Dignitas able to follow up the damage. Double kill again for Scarra. Will he keep going? Continues on to cut the odd one. Will they be able to kill him? Looks like this one goes to PewDiePie. Crumbs coming in from the backside to assist as he chases out the fight, and Dignitas is just handling these.
And super close fight there. That was actually the closest fight that TSM's had in a while, but it was another 3-for-0 for Dignitas. Scarra didn't get any resets in that fight. So that was an example of Dignitas just being stronger based on all the previous fights they've winning, even without fighting clean. Scarra didn't get resets, got his meditate interrupted, and had to sit at the back of that fight for the majority of it. But because there was so much focus put on Scarra, it allowed Kiwi Kid to come in from the right spot for that fight, and the rest of the fight to just play out beautifully for Dignitas.
And you got to remember, these guys are pro players, but that situation of always losing that guy's kill to 12 HP, a blinking red bar, another 18 HP, starts to put you on tilt. It starts to make you want those kills more because you're not grabbing them when you should be. We'll have to see if TSM can still coordinate themselves as we get to this frustrating part of the game for them.
Especially at a live event like this, as X-Special's getting crushed by Scarra. Reginald was even talking about how they might tilt if they start falling behind a little bit because they don't want to let their fans down.
There we go, they're gonna go, oh, the flashes burn, so that's 1 for 1 on the flashes, but the blue buff, again, being controlled by Dignitas, once again, goes to Dignitas. 26 minutes in here, still way more than a kill a minute onto this game at 34 all overall.
It is interesting to note, though, that it's only 6,000 gold, and that I still think if TSM holds out long enough, they could start turning some of these team fights. Crumbs' Nocturne is full tank. If Kiwi Kid doesn't get just in the right spot, he's not putting the upfront damage. PewDiePie hasn't hit that Ash point yet, and if TSM got a good fight, they could definitely repel Dignitas quite well.
And an ult like that from Dyrus, you can tell TSM not in engage mode. They're in let's protect, let's see what we can do and catch Dignitas off guard. So that's got to be feeling good for Dig right now.
They want to get Dignitas off of this tower. This is actually one of the harder turrets to defend, these outer side turrets before your inhibitor turrets, because it's so easy for an enemy to flank around the back of you.
Loop around.
And without this Rumble ult, actually, TSM is forcing something because there's no Rumble ult to hold it, and Reginald is trying to get a mid-turret instead on Twisted Fate.
Reggie, that ultimate is up, so he may be able to help. He's trying to crush down mid, has a good amount of damage on it. Looks like he won't get any respect from Dig here. They're going to give him the turret.
And I think Dig just wants more. They couldn't have made it back realistically. They knew the Twisted Fate ultimate could maybe sandwich someone like PewDiePie, who just dodged out of that Elise stun. And Reginald's trying to go and get some of this gold back. Every time a team actually kills a turret, not only do they get 750 gold, but it's 120 XP per person, which is actually 50% more than you get for a dragon. So TSM is trying to pull themselves back a little bit in this game.
And the communication, like we said with the Dyrus ultimate, actually Reginald won't stay here for this with the arrow coming down from PewDiePie. They throw the ult off to get the safety, but you can see Reggie trying to make moves. He is taking that into his own hands, trying to drop the bottom turret by himself. Dig, fast move though, having Janna is going to stop that in its tracks.
And it's going to stop any hard initiation tries by TSM as well. Just having that quick blowback, specifically with Ashe as well. If they want to kite back, everyone has tools to be able to kind of get away. And that's one of the ways Dignitas has been picking their fights so well, because when TSM goes in, TSM can't quite finish it, and that's when Dignitas turns it back around and tries to finish off the rest of TSM.
What do they have? Now that he doesn't actually have that Rylas. I thought he did. No, he does, because he's in the middle. So Dyrus does have that Rylas. I was thinking their chase in the fights is a little lacking. If Glitterlance doesn't hit, now Flamesplitter has the Rylas. But that was a big thing before. All of Dignitas could just escape these fights if anything went wrong previously. Now that TSM starting to get these items that really bring their champions to a fighting phase, maybe we'll see what the switch was all about.
And I wonder how well Dyrus is going to be able to live through, because he's kind of a little bit of the stickiness there trying to keep up. But I look at Scarra and I see a 602 ability power Yi with a Lich Bane. That Alpha Strike is doing 900 damage before Magic Resist is factored in, plus the Lich Bane proc, which is going to be that extra 700. That's 70% of Dyrus' health just off the start of it, not counting if he gets a kill off one of those early things. And Reggie, look out.
Oh, there is the Zhonya's going down, but it's not going to be enough. They completely obliterate two members of Team SoloMid. Dyrus trying to come in from the backside. Oh, the I think I can situation coming into play. Dyrus thought he could, and Scarra knew he could.
Another double kill. That's got to be some kind of record. I feel like he's gotten 5 of them this game, if I'm just guessing. 16 kills on Yi.
In the Park Penta.
Inside the Park Penta. 5 double kills. Good work. And Scar can just tank this up because he knows how well his Meditate heals him. Polymorph will get him out of that, but Dignitas is chipping away now since they got yet another 3 for 0 engage.
And there's nothing to stop this turret from going down. They have the siege clear. They have the siege stop as well. So they're just going to go onto the turret. If they need to get out, they can do so freely. They do it. Yi still rocking that double buff from earlier. Scarra has, everything's just falling into his lap this game.
Yeah.
Because they're playing it right. It's
crazy.
Dignitas altogether.
Yeah, we see the Scar has like 16 kills. You're like, wow, it's he. Guess what? APE steals kills. That's the way it works. That's why he only has 2 assists.
It's so true.
The 13 assists on PewDiePie, the 19 assists on Patoy.
Oh, Patoy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, the Howling Gale. He's out of range, but he still had the Eye Fish. Oh, man, that Draven ulti getting the assist. Very nice play by TSM to kind of just slow down the Dignitas roll right now.
And this is actually TSM's moment to try to make a play here without a full team fight disengaged by Dignitas. Maybe TSM will try to make something happen, because throughout these 27 kills that Dignitas has accumulated, none of them have been on TSM's accord. Dignitas is finding only the fights they want and taking them. Now, finally, TSM finds a fight for themselves that doesn't backfire.
So Team SoloMid warding up in that mid lane, trying to put wards everywhere. They have an open inhib right now. Pants are down, and they got to make sure Baron cannot be taken. You see them backing off immediately from any kind of engagement. Look at all the wards they placed down on the map.
They have been trying to cover, and it actually hurt Patoy a little bit trying to cover as well, and that's why TSM's been able to control so much. That's why they see Kiwi Kid here, and that's why they're kind of trying to chase people down. They recognize they're not completely out of this game yet. They're down a bunch of kills, but how many games do you get to have 27 kills against you and still feel like the fights aren't entirely one-sided, and still only have one inhibitor down, or even still have your Nexus? So TSM is feeling a little lucky to still be in this game, as even though Dignitas gets double kills for Skara, 3 for zeros, Dignitas hasn't taken much afterwards.
With that not engagement, what we just saw, Kiwi Kid getting stuck out a little bit there. In that trying to stop Reginald bottom, they almost missed position. So TSM is finding that Dignitas may be getting a little too comfortable with the power that they have, and that will be their door in.
Well, the running story for Dignitas is, how do they finish games? We all know Dignitas can get small leads. I would argue this is a big lead, so they shouldn't have too much trouble finishing this one. But looking at the team comps, no true tank on Dignitas, so turret diving is hard. But if they can continually catch people like Reginald, it makes it easier.
It looks good though, cards flying around him. Call up Vegas, get him a job. Skara going, or rather Reginald going down, picking up the wrong card, but he got put by 3. So Dignitas, like I said, feeling confident, but TSM also doesn't react to that.
And it's all about what Dignitas does now, because that's just another kill for them. It doesn't really matter that much that they're continually killing Reginald unless they can get the second inhibitor down, which TSM is trying to defend right now, and Dignitas is looking aggressive.
They are just putting everything they have here, not giving respect to the damage. The odd one gets hit up. Oh, the ignite immediately from Skara. I don't know if he's going to live on the way back down. No, he goes down. Oh, Cutie Pie and Crumbs both going in. They're going to stay towards the backside, completely safe with almost an ace.
Another double kill. I think that's a fitting way for Dignitas to end the game. They've done it once again. They've really had control of this game for quite a long time coming up to the end here. They're just looking for extra kills now. 31 of them looking to end this game in 33 minutes.
Not a game we expected to see for the first one of the day. Team SoloMid trying to do everything they can in the last breath to defend the Nexus, but Dignitas grabs game 1 of MLG Anaheim.
Really impressive performance there by Team Dignitas.